All right. Welcome, everyone, to TezTalks Live. Recently, we witnessed the public launch of Tezos Domains, and today we're going to spend some time to go over some of the features and what we can expect in the future. But before we get into all that, we have myself, William McKenzie, and Oliver Simon of Tezos Commons as your host. And joining us back again is Andrew and Miro of Agile Ventures and Tezos Domains. How's it going, guys? Long time no see.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yep.
Yeah, hi guys. It's awesome to be back.
Hey Miro, great to have you on. Hey Andrew. All right, before we get started, let me mention our usual giveaway. So we're going to be having a giveaway of a Tezos branded Ledger NOS hardware wallet device. And to participate, all you have to do is wait for the announcement of a keyword and put that keyword into the chat. And this way you're going to be participating in this giveaway. And later on in the show, we will announce the winner. So I wish you good luck.
Yep, definitely try to stick around and look out for that. So I guess we can go ahead and get started here. I know we had both of you all, Andrew and Miro, back on in September, I believe. But, maybe for some of the newcomers or those who may not be too familiar with you, can you kind of give us a bit of your background?
Sure thing. So I'm Andrew. I'm the founder of Agile Ventures. We're working with Tezos for almost 3 years now, I think. So we basically started by being a baker with Happy Tezos. And yeah, that was our introduction into the Tezos ecosystem. And lately we're mostly focused on Tezos Domains, which we just launched yesterday. Miro has been working with us for quite some time as a tech lead and our most senior developer.
Yeah, I've been with Tezos Domains since the start, like a year ago, and I've been a developer since 15 years ago. So and it's been a great experience. It's been a great ride so far.
Awesome, guys. Before we get into more of the specifics of Tezos Domains, I'd just like to ask you whether you want to share a little bit more on your journey into the Tezos world. Andrew, you just mentioned that you've been in it like for 3 years now. And remember last time we saw each other was at T-Curum in New York City, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit how? Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
It was a pre-COVID world. So back in those days when we actually could met in person, right?
Yeah, very much looking forward to meeting again.
Same here. Apart from Tezos Domains, we're also working with ACAT Labs on TezGraph, which is basically a API, GraphQL API, and also GraphQL subscriptions that you can use in your Tezos application or your Tezos dApp to facilitate all the API that you would need. So that's our second project, and yeah, that's basically what we've been mostly focused on for the last year or so, Tezos Domains and TezGraph.
Yeah. So basically you can subscribe to a contract with your dApp using your indexer, and then just that part takes care of everything. You don't need to pull the node anymore. Something like that, right? It's really cool.
Yeah, it's still work in progress, but we're excited to officially launch it this year, hopefully. So, yeah.
All right. With that much activity going on Tezos, I think everybody is quite excited to see Tezos Domains live right now. And I've used it myself just when it went live yesterday. And congrats, guys. I got to say, it's a good experience. I really love it. Maybe you want to introduce like the general idea of Tezos Domains a little bit for our viewers who are unfamiliar with it.
Sure. I'm going to share the screen here. Might be easier. Okay, so as I mentioned, we just launched it yesterday, so we're officially live. And basically, before the launch, we had a sunrise period where we granted domains to public bakers and open source projects within the Tezos ecosystem. So within the sunrise period, I think we granted around 160 domains or so. So these are fully functional already. The rest of the Tezos Domains system is now in the initial auction phase. So if you want to know more or learn more, the easiest thing you can do is to just go to our website, which is Tezos.domains. And yeah, from there you can read a little bit more about the project, and you can also go to the app and play around with it directly. So we will showcase some functionality on one of the demos later. So yeah, after around 36 hours, we've been actually quite humbled, how many people noticed within Tezos ecosystem and how many auctions there were. So we have around 140. I think I'm looking at the current number right now because the screenshot was taken 1 hour ago, and it's already 861 active auctions. So there's at the moment 861 active auctions for domains, and yeah, the highest bid is at the moment I think on bitcoin.tez with 500 tests. So that's, yeah, it's been pretty good, I think. So we're very happy with the launch, and yeah, humbled by everybody in the Tezos community who participated and using our app.
Yeah, a lot of people, including myself, have definitely been looking forward to it. And in addition to this highest bid of 500 tests, I think there was also, for instance, Steak Now, one of the biggest bakers in Germany, who just announced that they renewed their domain name for like 20 years or something.
Yeah, it was
showing
nice.
some long-term commitment there.
Yes, indeed. So as I mentioned, we're currently in the initial auction phase. The auctions will be running for 3 weeks. So the important thing, apart from this 3 weeks period, is that we basically tried to figure out the mechanism to make it as fair as possible to as many users as possible. And the period that basically the auction period for each domain can be extended every time when there is a new bid. So during the last 48 hours of these 3 weeks. So, and there's the minimum bids are increasing by at least 10% based on the last bid. So that
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the idea being that if somebody overbids you in the last second, that you don't lose the auction and you still have time to come back and bid again, because obviously there's going to be people who will try to play the system and maybe bid in the last minute and then see if they can win like that. But we will actually just extend the period so that the other people in the auction can still come back and re-up their bid as well.
Yeah, actually, in terms of domain squatting, I was noticing this on opening launch day. There was, like one address that had, a bunch of auctions running. And what is the process is there anything in place to kind of prevent this? Like, I think there's obviously the renewal, but is there anything beyond that to prevent squatting?
Yeah, unfortunately, like this is really a very hard topic to tackle, because and we obviously already see a lot of people are a bit on the fence whether domains should be owned forever or if there should be a renewal period, which obviously discourages squatting. So this is not this is obviously not easy to solve, because there are opinions that go both ways.
Right.
So I mean, what we try to do is we did like a minimalist approach to this. So we try to approach the existing bakers and approach the existing projects in the ecosystem so they can get their domain first. So it would be harder to, for example, to let's say it's like scamming someone using a domain that doesn't belong to you, but is used by or is the name of a project that exists in the ecosystem. At least should not be that easy. But obviously, like going like doing something proactively about squatting is extremely hard and would be extremely would take a lot of workforce and a lot of effort to do properly. So in the spirit of launching something really fast, we just decided to just leave it to open market and then see if people who actually have the proper let's say a proper desire to get a domain and actually use it, if they will actually pay more than a squatter, because squatter is probably going to try to minimize costs. So yeah, we did see a lot of people actually register or bidding in a lot of these auctions, but hopefully we will also see people coming back with higher bids who will actually have use for those domains.
Yeah, it's basically about the balance of making it as affordable as possible for the general Tezos ecosystem users, and at the same time making it as expensive as possible for the squatters. And this is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. And we thought about making renewals more expensive, but then other people came back and were like, well, I want to own my domain for the long run. I don't want to renew for an expensive fee every year. So yeah.
So our overall schedule, basically after the initial auctions that will end around May 12th, give or take the extensions that I just mentioned, that can happen if somebody will try to bid in the last 48 hours. And that basically means that I guess most of the domains will be fully functional within a week from that date. And we're also thinking that this will give another 3 weeks or so to all the other teams in the Tezos ecosystem to finish their integrations, because everybody, like most teams has already started with their integrations, but they are not 100% ready with everything. So this will give them an additional buffer to finalize everything on their side. Give them another couple of weeks to push their apps through Google or App Store verifications and so on. And yeah, later this year we're planning to have the auctions for shorter domains, so 3 and 4 letters ones. And yeah, if you can read more details about the schedule, it's on the link there, and all the links mentioned on the presentation will be also available in the description below the video afterwards, so you don't have to write it down.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of folks who are looking forward to the 3 or 4 letter domains. I know that, for instance, like Mike from Cryptonomic or Alan Goran, they are very much looking forward to having their first name as domain. Just to one quick question here from the audience for you is, somebody's wondering what's happening after 1 year if you don't renew. I assume your name just drops, right?
Yeah, the name drops. So obviously we have to make sure that if somebody else gets it, it still doesn't resolve to the old address. So there is an expiration date set, and all clients should respect that expiration date. And we are also, so one thing we did is that we realized that people will probably, it's going to be easy to forget about the renewal. So we also have a notification system so that people can, get, if they want to, they can get notified about the upcoming expiration. And you can also use the app to create events in your calendar with one click, so you don't forget. And one thing that we are still exploring or thinking about is having a window or a grace period at the end of the domain's registration period. That will basically you would not be able to use the domain, but it will still be available for you to renew. So that people who don't actually or forget about the renewal would actually notice that the domain stopped working, but they can still renew it, and it's not taken by somebody else. But this is still this is something that we are looking at and exploring.
Yeah, the notifications feature definitely is a good one. I made a few bits myself on a couple of domains, and it was good to be mailed whenever somebody outbid me. So yeah, everyone keep yourselves in the loop. Make sure to use that notifications feature.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about what Tezos Domains can do at the current state, and and then we're gonna talk a bit about what's coming. So the central one feature that we kind of started with Tezos Domains is obviously the translation of a name to an address. So if you register your name.tez, you will just set it up with your address, and then whoever wants to send you money, they can just use your name, and the wallets should be able to resolve that to the address and then send the money to you. And we also have the opposite way implemented, so that if somebody wants to, they can set it up so that if they send someone the money, that someone will see their name instead of the address. So both ways should work. But that's not everything. We are actually planning a lot of stuff that you will be able to do with Tezos Domain. So right now you can already associate other types of data or information with the domain. So you can do stuff like if you have a public project, or if you're, if you want to share your name, your email, or your Twitter, these things you can do already. You can also set up an avatar so that apps will show that avatar instead of your, next to your address or your name. And one thing that we are planning to do pretty soon is have an option to associate like an IPFS content URL, so that in the future you would be able to use a decentralized browser to resolve Tezos domain, and then you would be able, we would basically link that to the IPFS content, and the user would see a website that's just hosted on IPFS. So like in the spirit of the domains as a term borrowed from DNS, we actually do want to at some point serve web content as well. And we've been working with a lot of teams in the ecosystem. So all the major wallets and also indexers are either already working on supporting Tezos domains, or already at least implemented some resolution features. So you can already use, for example, you can just type alice.tez in temple, and this will already resolve to an address. So stuff like that already works in a lot of those. So with the launch, we actually were helped by the Tezos Foundation by securing an audit for us. So they approached Constant, which is a well-known security firm in the blockchain ecosystem, and they basically did an audit for our smart contracts and for our client library, and it went really well. They only found like low risk issues, no blockers, and both of those were fixed. So I'm really happy about that. And yeah, you can visit the link and see the audit for yourself.
And we'll put the link again in the description below the video for you guys.
Yeah, I think before we get into this demo here, we actually have another question from the audience. They ask, can the domain be taken down by third parties?
Yeah, that's a very good one.
question. Yeah.
So yeah, sure. That's it's basically tightly connected to what we were thinking about even launching the project, and whether we should keep some blacklist or of domains that, or trademarks, or domains that people cannot actually reserve, or because you can see even in the auctions that are now active, there are some people that are bidding on google.test, for example, and other trademarked names. So to be honest, we basically decided to not implement any list, because there is no easy way how to create the list in the first place. We would have to take, I don't know, like each company from S&P 500 or all the major stock indexes, but then some other company that has a trademark in some other country would basically tell us that why my company isn't blocked and Apple is blocked. So we decided to basically keep it open, and yeah, we'll see. So it's the same on the ENS, and yeah, we're hoping we won't get letters from attorneys from different companies to take it down. So, but at that time, the entire Tezos Domains project will be governed by DAO, and I think sooner or later we will, if Tezos Domains are successful, we will have to create a legal entity for it as well, and it's going to be a non-profit entity. And yeah, this will have to be decided then.
Yeah, basically, if it's going to be very hard to take down a domain if there is not a majority in the DAO. So if the vote or token holders or voters don't agree with that, it's just not going to happen.
Because maybe it's also important to note that we actually don't even own the contracts anymore. So maybe Miro will tell us a little bit more about the multisig and why we did it. I'm not sure if we have a slide for it. Maybe not.
Yeah, so, I don't think so. So yeah, from the start we decided not to keep the ownership of the domain. So we have a way. The contracts have a way to, in case of a major bug or a security issue, there is a way to still manipulate things. But the ownership now belongs to a multisig of 7 people. Only 2 of us are from the Tezos Domains team, and the rest is different people, well-known people in the ecosystem that are representing projects that also use Tezos Domains or are in some way important to us. So the thing is, we don't have a way to do those things anymore. So we would really have to, everyone would have to agree that something is really bad with the domain. So if it's I don't even know what that would be. So it's extremely hard to do that even now already.
Yeah, I've got another question myself concerning integration. Say you're a developer watching this and you haven't thought about integrating Tezos Domains into whatever it may be, your wallet or your Explorer or any other software. What's the best way to get started? Like where to reach, like how to reach out? Do you have documentation for this? Like maybe you want to go a little bit into this.
Yeah, totally. Well, we can include that in the links as well. But there is a website, developers.tezos.domains, and it's a great starting point for anyone who wants to get started with integrating Tezos Domains. So there is they can use the client library, which lets anyone integrate Tezos Domains, including stuff like you can also, for example, place bids with those library calls. So you can register domains, you can manipulate existing domains. Another thing we have is an open API that anyone can use that lets you basically ask for any kind of information about those domains, including history. So you can go back and ask, half a year ago, what was the domain? What was the address of a domain? Or, what was that? What was the now auction half a year ago? And stuff like that. So that's available there as well. And there's also pretty extensive documentation about the smart contracts. So if you're writing a smart contract and you want to integrate it with us, it's also easy to do. So you can just call our smart contract and basically integrate that way as well. So
Yeah, and in any case, you can just reach out to us, and we will do our best to support you.
Yeah, we are super happy about people trying to integrate and trying to get their project to work with Tezos Domains, because obviously it helps us as well, and we just want to help out because it also helps us, obviously.
Yeah, great job on the documentation, guys. I've actually used it myself in the context of integration for TZStats, so I like it.
Awesome.
We have another question here. Will more wallets be added in the future?
Yeah, there's two sides of this. So if you're talking about the wallets that can be used in the app, so you can only use basically everything that's Beacon supporting Beacon as an interface. I know there are still maybe some issues with thanks. I know there might be some issues with mobile, so we have been experimenting with that quite a bit, and we still recommend people to use desktop at this time. But we are going to work on this, and we're going to try to also work with the Beacon people to try and improve that experience as well. When we are talking about the wallets that already can resolve domains, yeah, there's definitely the support is going to be there. All the teams that we've talked to confirm that they are building it in. We know that Kukai, they told us yesterday that the support is coming very soon. If not today, then probably this week or the next week. And we also talking, and you know as well, that we are working with indexes as well, so they can become part of the ecosystem for Tezos Domains as well.
All right, guys, let's have a very little break here. I want to announce the keyword for our Legend NOS giveaway, and that the keyword is !tacos.tez. So if you want to participate, be sure to put that in the chat.
Cool. So I think we can start with the demo.
Yeah. By the way, a little mistake there from my side. It's actually the keyword is tacos.tez without the exclamation mark, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. Yeah, please dive into the demo.
Okay, so let me just start on the page. So this is the website, Tezos.domains. You can basically read a little bit more about the project, check the features that we have, and see the other projects within the Tezos ecosystem that are already supporting or working on supporting Tezos domains, and check the FAQs. But basically, the most important thing is probably this little box right here, where you can search for your domains, or you can use this manage button that goes straight to the app. And yeah, this is the dev. This is communicating through our API with our database. It's also communicating through Tezos Node to Tezos blockchain directly if you're submitting transactions, obviously. So without connecting your wallet, you can just browse around, check the recent activity, and see the popular auctions. If you want to see more auctions, you can just go here and get a bigger overview. I think that Bitcoin.tez is still the highest one, looks like. Yeah. So I think that's basically it of what you can do without actually connecting the wallet. Let me show. So this is as Miro mentioned, the wallets we're currently supporting are the wallets that support Beacon, but the list will probably grow as more wallets will support it. So I'm going to use Temple. Let's check this one. And yeah, I can already see that the wallet is connected, and here in the top right corner, I can see my balance. And yeah, I can go to my dashboard either through this one on the main this button on the main page or through this overlay. So if you want to change your address that you are connected on with or change the wallet that you are using, you can do this here, or you can go to the dashboard from any page here. And yeah, this is what you guys are going to see when the auctions are going to be over. So you're going to have a list of all your domains, and then you can go to the detail of each one and basically manage it. We can maybe showcase this one a little bit. So this is a detail of the domain where you can edit all the details. You can also edit the reverse record. You can see the expiration. This is the notification that Mira mentioned. So you can set up to get notified in the case of when the domain is expiring. So you can either use Google Calendar or Office 365 or Apple Calendar, which just creates calendar event for you, or you can basically input your email here, and then we will send you an email before the expiration to make sure that you don't miss out on it. You can also renew it at any time. So that's basically what Oliver mentioned. Let's take now renew it for I don't know, like 10 more years or something. So you can basically renew it for 10 years or 20 years, and yeah, you don't really have to worry about it. You can also manage all the subdomains here in this view. And yeah, the maybe next thing that I want to mention is if you want to add additional data, you can do it here in this edit under the details. And basically this will give you some pre-filled ones here. So we have a cool Gravatar integration which you can read more about on our latest article in our blog, and then it will show you basically the Gravatar that you're using. And the idea is that if this gets enough traction, you will see the same avatar throughout the ecosystem everywhere where you're using your wallet and your domain. So that then it makes it easier to like distinguish immediately that that's basically the same one. Yeah, we can also go ahead and maybe try bidding on a domain just to show how the entire auction flow looks like. So basically this one seems like nobody tried to bid on it yet. So you can see that there hasn't been any bids, and you can basically start placing a bid, and the minimum is 1 Tez. So I'm going to place a bid now. Let me see. And I'm just going to confirm it on the temple pop-up. And while we're waiting for the operation to be included on the Tezos blockchain, maybe I should also mention you can set your notifications, as Oliver noted before, also for the auctions. So yeah, once this is confirmed, I can show you guys how to do that, but it's rather straightforward. You can either do it here, or if you skip this step, you can basically do it on the auction page as well, or through here. So this will notify you when you've been outbid on any auction, or when you have won the auction, or of course the case that I mentioned before, when one of your domain names is about to expire. Yeah, so that's it. We bid on Banana Tez, and now we're basically going to wait for around 3 weeks to see if we got it or not, and if, yeah, how it's going to work out. Yeah, I think that I can show quickly is the view from Temple. So this is, I think they are in the still, the integration is not fully done yet, but you can already see that some parts of it are working really good. So for example, if I want to see like this is the account that now owns alice.test. So I want to send some test to Bob. And if I type Bob domains, it's immediately resolved to Tezos address. And I can just send him one test. So this is already working. Another thing that's working is, I think, delegation page, which is this one. So you can basically, I'm not sure if these ones are already from the domains, but here you can definitely use the domain names as well. The last thing that's not yet fully integrated is this activity list, where they are, I think, going to implement the reverse record. So you will be able to see the transaction coming from the addresses that that have set up the reverse record, and coupled with the addresses, you will also see their domain names. So it's going to be much easier to distinguish who is sending you money and what's going on with your account. So yeah, I think that's it from the demo. I hope I didn't forget about anything.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thanks for the demo.
I think we can take a couple of questions that we had during that demo now. Someone asked earlier, can you host a NFT marketplace on a domain?
Yeah, we actually have this on the next slide, I think, or the very next slide.
Oh, okay.
I can just share the screen here. Yeah, so that's a good question. So it's important to mention that Tezos domains are NFTs. They are FA2 compliant NFTs. So you have a full control over them when you have the domain. And we definitely look forward to seeing the Tezos domains or as their NFTs too, and being tradable on NFT marketplaces. So I know that OpenSea is going to come to Tezos. I'm not sure about the ETA, but yeah, there's probably going to be more NFT marketplaces, and we will try to get Tezos domains integrated with all of them. So.
Cool. Maybe I can talk a bit about the developer features or the developer integration side of things. So when we started with this, we decided that we definitely need a build solid support for developers around this. So we built a client that anyone using TypeScript or JavaScript can already integrate, and they can do pretty much everything that the app can do with the contracts and a little bit more as well. So basically, if you integrate this client, you will be able to resolve domains, manipulate existing domains. You will be able to do stuff like bidding on the domain or registering new domains. So yeah, it's obviously, if you want to go ahead and bid on 500 domains, that's fine as well. Yeah, if you want to check it out, you can just go to the link that we show here, or it's going to be down in the description. We build it so that if you're already using Taquito or Conceal, you can just switch between these two implementations, so you don't have to import another dependency to your project. And we have documentation, so you can get started pretty easily. Another thing that I also didn't mention is the API. So you can just use the query language, the standard GraphQL query language, and you can just create stuff about the history of the domains and on domains themselves and stuff like that. I will actually just show you, show the viewers how this works, so everybody can just get a picture.
I'm not sure if we have time for that. Maybe we just need to wrap it up.
Oh, all right.
So I'm just gonna skip to this one, just to do it quickly.
Yeah, cool.
On the future roadmap. Yeah, so basically the things that we want to focus on is obviously supporting integrations within the Tezos ecosystem. This is the main thing that we're going to do. And we're going to also work on implementing DAO and on-chain treasury probably through Homebase. And we're already started talking with Spruce IDs to how we can easily integrate the IDs that Spruce systems are working on. Yeah, and last but not least, we want to look into possible DNS integrations. So this is also on the roadmap. Yeah, this is actually, that's it.
Nice. I'm very excited about the project, guys, and I'm looking forward to see how it's going to unfold. And I hope I'm going to win some of my, bits that I've made.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Will, do you want to go ahead and announce our winner?
Sure. So the winner of the Tezos Engraved Ledger Nano S is Badalin. I hope I didn't butcher your name, but you need to send an email over to social@tezoscommons.org. We're going to request that you take a screenshot of your YouTube account so we know it's you, and we will be in touch soon. Congrats.
Congrats. All right, I think we can wrap up here. Andrew, Miro, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for developing Tezos Domains. Yeah, and everyone else, thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe out there and follow Tezos Commons on the various social media channels, and also be sure to follow Tezos Domains on Twitter @Tezos Domains. And if you haven't already, give it a try on Tezos.domains. Yeah, have fun, and see you next time.
Guys. See you next time.
Awesome.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.